Warren from NQ Explorers on another bush adventure. Today solo. Colin's not with me. We'll get her in into this site eventually. Hopefully I don't find everything first. I'm still endeavouring to find the site of an 1864 coaching hotel that was on an old road out here. Last time in here you saw me find this site where I'm on now, where there's a bit of a bottle dump. Bit of history of the site. So 1859 Queensland becomes a colony, breaks away from New South Wales. They've got no money. This hotel was established in 1864, so that's only 5 years later, on a coach road, on an important coach road, prior to Cobb and Co. So it flourished for a short time, this hotel, did all right. Then Hiram Cobb comes in with his thoroughbred coaches, which did everything in half the time and twice the comfort. Took up this mail route and basically bypassed this hotel. He went straight past it, didn't bypass it. The horse changes were on either side. It wasn't a horse change for Cobb and Co. So the old heavy English coaches of the 1850s were gone. The modern thoroughbred Concord coaches were coming through here, and they didn't stop at this spot. So from what I can understand, subsequently the hotel changed its name a couple of times, changed licensees, and then failed ultimately. Long gone. And I don't know where it is exactly, but obviously it was here somewhere. We'll keep looking for it. May not find it today, but we'll definitely have a scratch on this old, I believe it's a 1920s, 1930s bottle dump. There is older stuff in here. And then if this doesn't work out, as I said, we'll move on to the other site, which we still haven't walked into yet, and have a bit of a recon around there before we bring Colleen in on another video. So enough chit chat, let's get into it. Well, everywhere I put the pick in the ground, I'm getting old bottles. There's a metal target here, but that just, like, the place is just full of bottles. Hey, this one's got some writing. I'll be able to determine what that is. Okay, well, it's complete. Beautiful little bottle. Have a look at that. That's a ripper. Okay, what this writing says is this bottle remains the property of R.M. Cow, C-O-W, as in the animal, and company, Brisbane. I don't know what R&M Cow produced. Logically it'd be milk. Not a milk bottle though. I'll research that one. That's a beautiful old bottle. Just a cork top. I still haven't found my metal target that I've got here. I've just got the bottle, and look at this beautiful old handle. How ornate is that? Off an old pot or a soup tureen or something. Geez, it'd be nice if that was intact. Have a look, the ground is just full of ceramics. Okay, I may have found my pub site. Look at this, I've got a brass pumpkin. How good is that? Definitely 1800s relic. That was a metal target. Looks like a pumpkin. I'm not sure what it is. A bit of tableware probably, or a lamp part. But it's very pumpkin-like in nature. I just got this beautifully delicate little buckle. It's floral. It's had some jewellery in it, of jewels. As you can see, there's a little loop where the belt goes. Very delicate. I wonder if it's a little girl's buckle or something. That's definitely in my time frame. It's got some sort of enamel wear there. That's pretty little. That's a lovely little girl. I'd say there's a little girl's buckle or something. We'll give that a quick bush clean, but I won't clean it properly till I get home. I'll take some still shots. Well, as you can see, it's enamelled and gilt. The leaves are enamel green. There's some white berries or blossoms, and it's gilt on the back and the front. It'll clean up beautifully. What a lovely little relic. Well, it's been fairly rewarding so far. A bit quiet at the start. Had to wander into the site. The thing about this old pub site is that there is tantalisingly little evidence of it on the internet, and that's what I love to see. If there's virtually no information on it, very good chance you're going to be the first one in there, because if it's easily accessed, easily found, well, it's going to be pretty really heavily detected by now, considering that hobby metal detectors have been around since the 1970s, long time ago. Machines are a lot better now though. Don't let your research discourage you too much. If you do research a site which looks great, you get there, you found it's been heavily detected, that doesn't mean that your new detector, you know, your 2018, 2019 model, isn't going to do better than 1970s or 80s or 90s or 2010 model, because of the everything now is obviously digital. electronic discrimination, you've got notch discrimination on all your good high-end machines. Buy a good machine, and it'll get you into those areas where other detectorists have missed lots because of the technology they were using, or they had the wrong coil on. Swap your coils, change machines. If you've got a couple in your inventory, every machine is best suited to a certain environment. There's no one, silver bullet in metal detecting. But nice to find a site that there's very, very little information on. Well, this may not even be that 1864 hotel. We haven't even been to Site B, that's another trip. But there's a lot of creek to discover and explore further here. I'll bring Colleen in and we'll start scratching around with smaller coils. Here's a mum here with a joey in a pouch. Can you see her in there? I don't want to stir up. There's a joey moving around. The joey's pretty big too. There's a big leg hanging out the front. That time he hopped around by himself. Okay, mum, I'm not going to hurt you. Joey's having a little stretch and he's pulled back into the pouch. He's in the shade there, just past that tree if you can see her. We won't stir her up too much, we'll leave her to her business. Righto, well, I'm trying to determine the age of this dump by the artefacts I'm recovering, obviously. I think there's a couple of layers of deposition. There is some older stuff and there is some much newer stuff. So it may not be my 1864 hotel yet, but this is a nice old find, and this isn't a modern piece. This was a detector alerted me to it. Look at this harmonica reed coming up. That's an old harmonica reed, that one. So that's much older than some of the other stuff I've seen in here. I actually saw like a base of a light bulb, so that's obviously not 1860s. This is very fragile, this harmonica reed. It's about to fall in half. So today I'm using the Garrett AT Max. I've got a Nell 9.5-inch sharpshooter on it. And what I'm going to do is work along this bank. This is where I just got the harmonica reed. Grass looks daunting, but it's not really. I'll be able to get in amongst that with the coil. And the artefacts go way up, probably 30 or 40 metres in that direction. So there's lots of potential for great finds. We'll start scratching around with the detector and also spot anything on the surface that we might see. And I'll report back with the next relic. This one's a nice high tone, 80. Although it's a bit, you can hear there's a bit of tone roll. I'll go sideways. Not so good, jumps down, it's a bit jumpy. Not a real clean signal. I'm going to walk past it though, but I'll have a crack at this one and see what we got. So we'll go live with this one. Let's just see if that's in pinpointer range. I'm a bit further up the bank. Down off the edge there. Here's the target here, look. What is this? Looks like an old pipe fitting maybe? I'm not sure. Could be a pipe. An old copper galvanised pipe. That could be quite old. Target's up here a lot shallower. I'm away from that front edge where the bottle dump is, but there's definitely stuff up in this long grass, such as that. Not sure what that is. Right, I'll get it up close and I'll see if I can determine what it is. I've been going about 45 minutes, nothing significant yet. A couple of newer looking screw top bottles, although they were quite interesting in itself. But here, very sharp, clean, compact, 75-76. I'm pretty keen on that. I've dug a few like this. There've been little bits of brass and pieces of lanterns, I suppose. But you generally get a bit of tone roll and an inconsistent signal. This is a lot cleaner. So we'll go live here and see what we get. Well, I haven't touched the ground yet, as you can see. Let's pull this grass back. This isn't far from where I got that nice little children's belt buckle or brooch. I think it was a belt buckle. That floral enamel thing wasn't far from here. In the centre of that little scrape. Near the max out of the way, it's going to pick up the goings on otherwise. Okay, as you can see, this is pretty loamy. Further up the hill I found a bit of a fire pit. The soil was all burnt. Lots of broken glass, melted copper, that kind of thing. Okay, target's out. This is it. Oh, look at that. It's an old spoon bowl, and that's very old. 75, 76. That must be good quality moulding. Oh, it's pretty thick though, that's old. Unusual shape, that spoon. I'll see if I can get any handle or stem off it, because that's what I've got so far as the bowl. There's other metal in the hole. Just hope. Okay, I'll keep on with the dig and see what we get. Right, well, there's that spoon bowl. That is very old and very thick. As you can see, it's long ago been broken. That's why it's in this creekside dump. Unusual shape. I don't know what kind of spoon that would be. But I'm not going to get any information off that because the markings would have been on the handle. Never mind. Well, I've spotted something over here that's quite interesting. May explain to some extent this old dump we're finding. Like I said, it's both modern and much older rubbish. By modern I mean 1920s, 1930s. There's nothing beyond that, newer than that, that I've picked up. I haven't picked up any cans or ring pulls. But over here, there's a tantalising little clue in the grass that may explain why there's so much crockery and bottles in here. And I still haven't gone further up the creek to find that old hotel. This could be it. There's another lovely discovery I made walking in this morning. This is the kind of country where you can be a couple of metres from something and you won't spot it. Come back a couple of days later, different light, different conditions, you'll spot it. It's the remnants of a concrete slab. It's about 50 metres up behind the camera, the way I'm facing. That may also, well, it's obviously been a structure, may not be associated with this point, but there's definitely been a bit of activity in here over the last 150 years. So this is what I spotted over here, next to this old burnt gum. Let's have a look at that. That's an old tree. She's a beauty. Bits and pieces have fallen off over the years, but it just keeps going. But in the grass here is the remnants of an old stump foundation that's fallen over. As you can see, that is an old stump off a low-set Queensland style building. That's the only one I've spotted, but that's may not even be in situ, but there's been an old structure here. The white ants are probably eating everything else. I think we'll do this one together. It's a pretty clean mid-80s signal. So a little bit of tone roll. Yeah, I'll listen to this. Well, it's pretty clean now. There's the tone roll. I don't know, 81, 83, 84 kind of numbers. It goes in here then. It's pretty compact. Not a large target. Let's take this, once you get through the root layer of the older stuff, the deeper stuff. Of course, you get big flood through here in the wet, and all sorts of silt deposition has taken place since the 1800s, obviously. Okay, what's this? Oh, that's just hard ground. Funny how we've got this, it was a really hard clay, and then you got some real loamy spots too. Okay, there's the target. An old brass latch. That's a beauty, that one. That's a nice old find. Not so much in the dump, but back towards where this suspected house site was, or whatever it was. Okay, I'm just going to scout upstream that way to determine the extent of this artefact scatter and possibly isolate any other old sites along the creek line, because my original research would have indicated the hotel was in this spot. I don't know where the old coach road was, but I suspect it's that way, about 150 metres, so that's where the hotel would have been. Nevertheless, we've got a couple of targets in here so far, and there's been other activity since then, so it's all good. We'll go up creek a little bit. Righto, well, that artefact scatter stops about 20 metres past the sort of upstream end of where I've been digging. What I might do now is decamp to site B that I referred to in the previous video when I first found this site. Site B is the alternative site for the old hotel. There could be some old 1800s relics over there. But on the way out, I've got to go back to the Land Rover to drive around there. We'll swing across that old concrete slab I found up in the bush and see if we can pick up any targets there. But we'll get going. It's mid-morning, might be time for a bit of morning tea, and then we'll head over to Site B.